No degree, no problem. Skills that matter most in game development. Do you think you need a computer science degree to work in the video games industry? Well, think again, because in 2025, studios are relying more on demonstrated skills rather than the degrees behind them. I know so many video game developers that never even went to university for game development. So today we're going to be looking at the real skills that matter to get a job in the video games industry, and they don't even need a degree. So let's jump straight in, shall we? Hello everyone, I'm Piers Duklock, producer and video game consultant. I've now been in the video games industry about 15 years, and a lot of that time has been spent as a hiring manager, where I review CVs, pick people for interview, and hopefully make the hire. But I also have the unique background of never having gone to university until after I'd already started my career. When I got in, I didn't have any degrees at all. So I'm in a unique position to answer the question, do you really need a degree? And if not, what skills should you be demonstrating? So let's get stuck straight into that, shall we? Now, I should say right off the bat here, I'm not trying to devalue games degrees at all. This is simply to encourage and to help people that don't have those degrees try and pursue their passion in video games. Because after all, that's what we're all about here. We just love video games and we want to work on them, right? So we'll start with the facts. Yes, a degree can help. It can give you structure, it can give you time to learn, and it can give you a network, which I think is one of the most important things. But it's important to know that it's not a requirement. It's a nice to have, not a need to have. For a lot of hiring managers, myself included, a degree is a bonus, not a requirement. When we look at a CV, we are looking at the studios you've worked at, we're looking at the projects you've done. We are not looking at your degree really much at all, unless it's a super small CV and that's all that's on there. Because at the end of the day, we care about what you can do, not what potential you have. So we want to see output. We want to see what projects you worked on. We want to see what companies you've worked for. We want to see what skills you have. So let's talk about those skills, shall we? And this can be worked on with your degree or without a degree. Doesn't matter, but these are skills I look to see when a CV comes to me. Number one, I want to see problem-solving skills. Game development, it's all about solving creative and technical problems given some constraints. So you could be constrained by time, you could be constrained by the design of the game. You always need to be solving problems. So if you can demonstrate that, that's great. Doesn't need a degree to demonstrate that though. Number two, I want to see tools proficiency. For instance, if I'm working at a company that uses Unreal Engine and you've also used Unreal Engine and you've shown me that on your CV, guess what? That's going to be a massive boost to your chances of getting a job, because you've already demonstrated to me you know the tools that we'll be using for the job day to day. Again, doesn't need a degree, but can provide some structure. Number three is communication. This is a big thing when it comes to video games, because the bigger the game, the bigger the team. You can sometimes be communicating with hundreds of different people. So can you communicate clearly and can you communicate effectively? That's what I want to see. Number four is portfolio quality. This can vary between programmers, artists, designers, or your portfolio is going to be different. However, there is one thing that all those portfolios can demonstrate, and it's quality. If you've got a really polished, high quality portfolio, guess what? That's bringing you in the door more quickly than a degree ever would. Number five, my personal favorite, is self-directed learning. This is a big one, a big departure from the degree focused format, because video games are always changing. Our tools are always changing. Our methods are always changing. Even just technology in general is always changing. Therefore, we always have to be up on the latest technology, on the latest methods on how to make a video game. We always have to be learning. And we're not going back to school to do it every 4 years. So we have to do that ourselves through tutorials, through websites, through sometimes just sitting down and opening up a video game and playing it. Whatever that method may be, we always need to be doing self-directed learning. So now that we've talked a little bit generally about the skills we want to see, let's talk a little bit more in focus from the different disciplines. Programming, for instance, you can show off snippets of code. It could be on GitHub or something like that. You can show off scripts there as well. You can just show off how you design your code, what it's doing, and how it's effective. You can even, program a little demo, a little game demo to show off. That would be the ideal scenario, I think. Design is an interesting one. You can go many different ways with your portfolio. You can build a level, for instance, using some existing tooling. You can rebalance some weapons, perhaps, in an existing game. You can just lay out a Miro board with a bunch of design ideas. All of these are valid depending on what the job would be and how you would want to go forward with it. For artists, I want to see the same style as the company you're applying for. I also want to see different phases of the artwork you're doing. A lot of people just submit their finished renders. Hey, this is the artwork I did, but there was no time limit on that. There was no, here's what I started off with, here's no rough sketches. I kind of want to see where you started and where you got to and how long it took you. That would be perfect. For QA and production, we don't really have a portfolio to show off, but things we can demonstrate on our CV are through stories, clear communication. How did I clearly communicate a problem to our higher up? You can also talk about your continued learning as you're going as well. For instance, I've just been learning Notion recently, so I can include a little section of, hey, I'm keeping up to date on the latest production tools. Recently, I've been learning about Notion. Here's the things I've learned. Stuff like that. Each of these topics covered for the different disciplines will show that you are demonstrating skills in those areas without ever stepping into a classroom. But you might be rightfully thinking, Piers, that all sounds well and good, but how do I go about getting started? So let's chat about that, shall we? And it mostly comes down to putting yourself out there. Be willing to learn, be flexible, be open and curious. Number one, I would always say, is online courses and YouTube videos. They give quality free education and you can just soak up as much as you can in your free time and learn something from that. I'd also recommend game jams as often as you can get them. Usually they're quite short in time, so you can compress it down and say, hey, I'm just going to take a weekend, do a game jam, maybe meet 3 or 4 different people. Great way to build a network, great way to build your skills, and hopefully you have something to show at the end of it as well. If you want something longer term, you can do some open source collaborations, tend to be more programming, maybe some technical art, but it can be a long-term view of, hey, I'm collaborating with a bunch of people to enhance this software. Here is available on GitHub, that kind of thing. I'd always encourage joining video game communities. This could be Discord, this could be Reddit, this could be, even posting on Twitter or something like that. Put your work out there to gather feedback. Feedback is not something to be feared. It is incredibly powerful, and it's the only way you're going to improve. If you think something's great, you put it out into the world says it's not great, guess what? Now you know you have to improve it. And this is a surprising one, but it's quite effective. Make small games. Just make something small. It can be you, it can be 2 people, it could be 3 people, whatever. Just make something small. Make something small, finish it. Make 3 something smalls and finish them. Make 10 something smalls and finish them. Then you get to say, hey, I've made 10 game projects. That's awesome. That catches my attention if that's on a CV. This person's very experienced. They've gone through the cycle 10 times, so they must be pretty good. A lot of people, when they become game developers, think, oh, I want to create the game I want to play, which is a great mentality to have. However, if you're looking to have that on your portfolio, it's probably not going to do what you think it's going to do. I would rather see 10 finished and released products rather than 1 product which is not finished, which is your magnum opus, but you've been working on it 10 years, that I can't play. I'm definitely going to choose the person who's got the 10 finished products, that's gone through the cycle 10 times, who's learned everything 10 times, rather than the one person that's going slow to make their perfect game for them. So to recap, please, please, please don't feel pressured into not applying or not even trying if you don't have a degree. Move forward with these steps that I've given you. Create a portfolio, demonstrate communication, demonstrate passion for the projects, and you can absolutely get a job in the games industry. And I don't mean to devalue degrees when I say this, because I myself went back to school in my late 20s. I went and got a business degree because that's what I was passionate about. So if you're passionate about video games, you want to do a video game degree, all power to you. It definitely will provide you a network, which I think is the most important thing about these things, because it's about who you know, not what you know. So I think that is an extremely important thing. But regardless whether you have a degree or don't have a degree, you just need focus, you need consistency, and you need the courage to be able to show your work and gather that feedback. That's universal for everyone. Now, if you're self-taught and you've done a project or you're working towards a project right now, drop a comment below. I'd love to check it out. And if you're looking to break into the games industry, I have a whole playlist built with videos on that very subject, so feel free to check that out as well. I'll put that in the description. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.